Big Olaf here with you again today. Going to do an overview on what I think should be the first purchase if you're looking at getting a reloading press. This is the Lee Classic 4-hole turret press. I think it's a great option for someone who's first getting into reloading, and then once you decide how into it you're going to get, you can move on to something like a Dillon or you know, a more expensive progressive press. But this really teaches you kind of the fundamentals of reloading. The caliber changeouts is basically the cost of a set of die, and then you're ready to go. Whereas getting a caliber switch out for a Dillon 650 or one of the larger progressives is going to run you upwards of $150 to $200. So this is a press that I still use all the time, even though my high volume reloading I'll do off of a Dillon 650. Basically, this is what's considered kind of a semi-progressive press. As you cycle the handle, you will turn a turret on the top, rather than a lot of the other fully progressive presses. The turret will spin down below, and each stage you will complete a different task. So if we put in a, it's set up for 45 ACP. As we go through the steps, the first step is the resize D prime, and then unlike some other progressives, you manually put a primer into this primer pocket, and then on the downstroke it'll prime the casing. Now next on the upstroke, it'll do a powder drop. As you can see there, it drops the powder, and then at which time you will then place the projectile in the end. And then finally a light crimp. So there's how fast you can put together a 45 ACP round. And granted, it's not fully progressive, but once you get cooking along, you can do all right with this. Also, like I said, with this guy, it does a lot better job as you're learning. You can feel, you know, as you move through the steps, kind of what to look for. So, oh, it's not quite lining up, so you can adjust that. You can feel it punch the primer, you know. As you come down, you can learn the feel of the primer being placed into the primer pocket. You can feel the powder drop. You can visually inspect to make sure the powder did drop. You know, you can place the projectile, you can feel it seat, and you can feel it crimp. Again, I think if you're looking at getting your very first press, something like this retails, you know, ready to go right around $150 to $200, whereas, you know, the bigger Dillon presses or the other progressives, they're going to run anywhere from $650 to $1,000 once you get it all set up with the calibers you want. So this is a great option. Highly would recommend it for, you know, somebody who's just starting out. The Lee Pro 1000 is garbage, and then obviously the singles, the single presses that Lee and you know, like the Rock Chucker and those guys make, RCBS, they're good presses, but I think that this is a better step if you're into reloading any sort of volume whatsoever. I just think that there's way too much error in doing 100 rounds on a set at a time, you know, measuring the powder for 100 rounds and taking each out of the rack and putting the projectile in. And I think that there's too much air, whereas this one you can watch the progression, watch the powder drop, watch the bullet seat, watch everything, and inspect it as you're going rather than doing it in the back end. Thanks for checking out my videos. You can check me out on YouTube, The Big Olaf. I also have a webpage, www.thebigolaf.com. Like and subscribe to my pages. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them. Try to get back to them as soon as possible. That's The Big Olaf. Thanks.